The Spark Mini, 3 years on. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo. It's good to have you along. Yes, that was from one of my songs. You can find the full performance on Patreon and the backing track. Or maybe I put the full performance here, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, what's the Spark Mini like 3.5 years on from buying it and using it every single day, basically? I have the new Spark Mini, which is, I played on that, and I have an old Spark Mini. It's not the new, it's a new Spark Mini, which I bought like a few months ago. I've been using that as well, so it's not brand new. A couple of things I will be doing today. I'm going to be talking about, have I continued to like this amp? There's a hint here. I'm going to see if the sound has changed in terms of, has the speaker, whatever, has it died of old age? And I'm going to see how loud it gets, because I don't think I did that in the original review. And I'm going to talk about battery life, because that's something that people have been worried about. So I've tried both of these, measured how much battery life has deteriorated in 3.5 years. And like I said, I've been using my Spark Mini basically every day, pretty much, for all of that 3.5 years. So I'm going to be doing 2 sounds. That's all, because I've done a review of this, so you can check that out. I'll link it in the description and pin it in the comments probably and all that. So let's start by checking out a couple of sounds, the 2 sounds that I basically use when I practice. This is the first. Oh, by the way, custom Strat with a humbucker, single coil and a stacked humbucker. So you get best of no worlds, really. Everyone is disappointed, but that's my life in a nutshell. So there's a bit of breakup going, actually a bit of hiss as well. Noise gates is a good thing. The hiss is a bit weird because when you play, drop the volume on the guitar just a tad, just a teensy weensy bit, a tadpole. You can hear the hiss. I don't know if the microphone will pick it up, but even with the volume full, the hiss ends before the note, which is not how hiss works in the analog world. So if you have a noise gate and a signal that's hissing, it shouldn't do that. The note should end and the hiss should end pretty much at the same time. Really weird. Interesting to see how the old one does it, if it's the same thing. I rarely practice with this sound. Very, very rarely, so I don't know. Let's turn on the other amp and see. Yeah, it does exactly the same thing. Alright, so battery life, part A. I tried. First off, I'm not noticing any difference in sound. Battery life of the new Spark Mini. The way I did this was that I played a playlist from my phone, streamed it to the Spark Mini, had it on half volume, same settings on the phone for each amp, and then I timed it, saw how long it took for the battery to die. The newer Spark Mini, it lasted roughly 10.5 hours, give or take 5-ish minutes. So, that was pretty something. I don't know if that's good or bad. Stick around to the end when I'll reveal how long the old one lasted. Actually, there is a bit of a difference. Or is there? I'm not sure actually. If there is, it's a really small difference. Before I go on, I would like to say that this video is very much sponsored by the good people who support this channel in various ways. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description, where if you buy something that way, like this amp for instance, you support the channel at no extra cost to you. Above all, I would like to thank anyone who supports the channel in any way, shape or form, even just by watching them till the end, liking and commenting and hyping. Alright, so I have go-to sound which I basically always use when I practice. It's the one you heard in the beginning. Let's check out volume. Let's put it on full. It was already pretty loud. So it gets north of 80 decibels, but it doesn't like it. So you can't really use it on full. That's the same experience I had with the older older one. The speaker started farting a bit, which is a sure sign that if you keep doing what you're doing, it will eventually break. So don't do that. It's not a good idea. But this is a safe volume. Old one. Double-proofing myself against copyright by Mr. Yngwie Malmsteen by playing everything he does in a major key. And the double-proofing is playing it so sloppy no one will recognize any of it. Yeah, it seems that these haven't, or the old one hasn't really lost any of its sound. So that's good. The thing about why I wanted to make this video, partly because of battery life, but partly because I personally had the experience with the Fractal Audio Axe-FX 2, which was a very expensive piece of gear. I had that for ages, I gigged with it, I absolutely loved it, until I noticed that it had started to annoy me. There was something in the top end of the sound that I just couldn't get rid of, and it annoyed me. And to this day, when I hear old demos that I've done with that, yeah, that's the Fractal Audio. I don't like the sound of it. And that's, from what I've understood, the experience many people have with digital gear, that it sounds good, but when you get used to it, you start noticing things that the analog version of whatever you're trying to model doesn't, the digital gear doesn't do it, or it adds something that's annoying in the long run. That was the case with the Axe-FX 2. That's not the case with this. There's nothing that annoys me about the sound. It's a bit dark, but it doesn't annoy me. It cleans up pretty well. It reacts to different pickups. Not as well as a Marshall, but hey, what you expect? So what's the battery life thing? Like I said, the new one did 10.5 hours, half volume on the music streaming side of it. And with the exact same settings, same playlist on my phone and on the old amp. Are you ready? Drum roll. The old one did 8 hours and 20 minutes. That's a drop of just over 2 hours. Now, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if it will drop faster the older it gets. I'm assuming you can keep it plugged in and play so that it, even if the battery is absolutely horrible, you can still use it, but I'm not entirely certain. In terms of how good it is as just kind of a practice amp, I use it basically every single day. I missed 3 days last year, and I think I used my Roland Microcube like twice, maybe. And the rest of the time I used the Spark Mini. It's just so good. I can take it from the kitchen where I normally practice to the living room if I want to practice there. I can take it to our bedroom if I want to practice there. So yeah, the battery operation is handy. You could have batteries with the Roland Microcube, but I prefer the sound of this just about. They're a bit different. So neither one is 100% what I want, but this is maybe just a bit closer than the Roland Microcube, which, to be fair, the Roland Microcube is almost as old as the pyramids in Egypt, and it's absolutely brilliant. I remember when it came out, practice amps were absolute dog shits back then. And the idea that you could have a battery or a car battery sized, or even smaller than a car battery, you could have an amp like that size and practice at home with brilliant sounds was absolutely astounding. So the Microcube is still a very viable option. Actually, these cost 260-ish euros. You can get a used Microcube for around 60 euros in Finland. So it's very much an option still. Especially if you just want very simple stuff. This has the app, which is annoying unless you just set and forget like I've done. I never use the app. I don't tweak the sounds. I couldn't care less. If you want the sounds, I have them on my Patreon somewhere. Basically, they're really simple. Just put an overdrive pedal in front of a Marshall amp, not the Yngwie amp, the 50 watt plexi thing, I think, and a bit of delay. Fiddle with the gains and EQ and you're set to go. For me, if there is a practice amp that I would recommend to every single guitar player out there except for absolute beginners, it's this. Absolute beginners, not because I don't think you should be fiddling with apps. I think you should be learning to play. And even intermediate guitar players, I think you shouldn't be fiddling with the app too much. I think you should you should set and forget and then play your guitar. And if there's something wrong with the sound, then you can fiddle a bit until it's fixed. Or if you can't fix it, get something else, because it's all subjective anyway. Like I said, if you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description where if you buy something that way, you support the channel at no extra cost to you. You can find these amps there as well. If you want to check out me comparing all of the Spark amps, that video is here. I do hope you liked the video and you had some use of this. But above all, I hope you have a nice day. Take care. Be kind to each other and yourselves. Goodbye.